Shalom, shalom. First, I'm going to say all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rikar Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone. Salutation to the Akim, pushing this word in truth and sincerity. Waiting for my jobs today. Nice sunny day. And as you can see, we're in the midst of the 7 candlesticks. See what the day has for me. You know how it is. You wake up, give your praises to the Most High, and see what He has in store for your day. Okay, so this is what we do, isn't it? Eh? We do that. Bahashim Hamashiach Yahushai. Been checking the news. Let's see what's happening in the world today. Right, let's let me check this. Let me see what's happening in the world today. Let's check. Right. Let's see. Right. Hotlines ring out. China's military crisis strategy needs rethink, says Biden, Asia chief. So let's click on that. This is World War III information. And it reads, and it says, hotlines ring out. China's military crisis strategy needs rethink, says Biden's Asia chief. Kurt Campbell says, Beijing has been increasing military activities without taking measures to reduce the chance of miscalculation. Biden administration top Asia official has warned about absence of the crisis communications channel between the US and China at time of rising military tensions over Taiwan and the South China Sea. Military and leadership hotlines have been established at various points in the drought history of the relationship. But Kurt Campbell, the White House Asia TOSA, responsible for coordinating policies across the administration, said Beijing had shown no interest in using them out of a preference of uncertainty. The hotline simply rings out in empty rooms, he says. The Chinese leader, Xi Jinping, has continued to test the nerves of Taiwan and its allies, stepping up incursions into the island's democracy's airspace with its warplanes and staging combat exercises ever closer to the territory. And this is something America doesn't do. Yeah, really. Friction also remains high in the South China Sea, where America is doing the same thing, hypocrites, where the US carries out freedom of navigation patrols with its ships through territorial waters that are unilaterally claimed by Beijing. Could you imagine China having their warships sailing near the American coast? They'll be kicking up all kind of madness. And it says here, I believe there is a general worry of miscalculation and of an incident and accidents. And I do not think there are effective procedures with China to head these off, Campbell, White House coordinator for Indo-Pacific, told The Guardian. China has generally resisted any effective efforts at these kinds of confidence-building crisis management procedures. In the past, the hotlines that have been set up have just rang kind of endlessly in empty rooms. So the Chinese have chosen not to go in that direction. At the same time, they are ramping up these military activities in proximity to US and allied forces. They've done so without any kind of guardrails or reassurance mechanisms, Campbell said. Hotlines between military and civilian leadership was a safety feature of the rivalry between US and Soviet Union during the Cold War, but as China military might has risen in relationship to Russia's efforts to establish during lines of crisis communications between Washington and Beijing have failed. President Clinton and General Secretary Jiang Zemin agreed to establish a hotline in 1997, but it was never put to proper use, even when NATO accidentally bombed the Chinese embassy in Belgrade in 1999. In 2014, Barack Obama and Xi agreed a memorandum of understanding on the rules of behavior in maritime and aerial encounters. In an annex to that agreement the following year, the two countries said they would establish a military crisis notification mechanism for audio and video defense links in order to reduce risk, foster mutually trusted, and increased openness. But Campbell said Beijing has not made use of any channel. The Chinese are taking over. That's what they're worried, you see. For a host of reasons, the Chinese have been reluctant to engage deeply in these efforts. China has different calculations on the proper conduct of civilian-military relations, he said in her phone interview. They fear that by establishing these mechanisms, they give credence and legitimacy to American military exercises and operations near their borders. And they don't want to do that. And that's precisely because you would do the same. Okay? Even during the Cold War, we had much more effective crisis communications between the United States and the Soviet Union, he said. As China's capacity has grown consistently and they operate globally, they are now a near-peer military power, and that's what they're worried about. Before, they was the big bully on the block. But the prophecy says that now you've become as weak as we. So we're heading into that confrontation now. China's ready to go. Russia's ready to go. Iran's ready to go. They're ready to have that war now. Well, the Lord is setting it up. He's going to muster up the host for the battle. I think they need to rethink their previous ambivalence about some of these mechanisms. That's an era we want to explore with them as we go forward. Before, they would have just said, look, we're going to drop bombs on you. But now they know that China has got the same weapons, bombs, planes. They said they're nearly on par with them. So that's the article there. Don't know if you can see it. That's it there. Yeah, America's trying to establish relationships now that they know that they can't bully people. Yeah. So that was just a quick hit for the new setup in the midst of the 7 candlesticks. So I'm going to say all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutation to the Akim pushing this word in truth and sincerity. We say Kwam Yasharallah, Wa Ababa Bo, destruction to Babylon. Shalom.